this, but they said it was a mini reverse sweep. So the Gragas, the Maokai, and the Gangplank all gone. Gangplank triple banned by C9 every single, well, now quadruple banned here. Still Kalista and Azir, and now Balls' Rumble off the table, so definitely some adaptations to be made. Is it going to be first pick Echo? No, first pick Nidalee. Finally, High is allowed to play it.
Little mini tweaks in all of these champion selects. So now that the Nidalee has been picked, I'm almost certain, I mean, even with Alistar up, you would almost expect a Braum and a tanky lineup for Team Liquid. But Gragas is banned, so the tank junglers are diminished. Dominate should play Echo, honestly.
Yeah, I really think so. I would, make sure. I think first of all, it fits his style absolutely. I'm also though just very surprised to see that High. I guess they do have a game to work with, so this is a small risk they are allowed to take, I suppose, but they found a formula that worked. Big frontline, High in a tank, and that was successful. And they're like, you know what, just go to a Nidalee, play an entirely different style, and they get one game to experiment, but we have not seen his Nidalee in a very long time. It does give Liquid the opportunity to grab the Braum and the Vayne themselves, and now they can play a Piglet.
Yeah, I mean, based on the effectiveness of Braum in some of these games, you would have almost expected the first pick Braum, but speaking to some other junglers who have been playing a lot against High, even though he hasn't shown it yet, his Nidalee is quite good. So High is definitely trying to bring that one out.
Cloud9.
The return of Draven.
The return of Draven with a Morgana to back up. This time around, Morg very good into Braum. That's a great matchup, and oh dear, C9 going to feel real good about this bot lane.
Yeah, that's another game. This one's, it's all about sneaky. From now, probably an Orianna to come in close, and maybe if Maokai wasn't banned, you would have expected that from Balls. But
there is a small risk of no frontline right now. You need the luxury of time and luxury of a big beef wall in front of you. Black Shield helps, Nidalee heal helps, but it's not like there's a lot of mid lane tanks that Incarnation knows. Mid-show's been gone for a while.
Yeah, Rek'Sai, I haven't seen that guy in a while.
That's true.
Still expect an Echo, though, from IWillDominate. He was, it's so strange because Dominate was one of the first adopters of the Echo. And Tank Echo on the 4.14 patch has just been so relevant in the competitive scene, brings so much team fighting presence. But instead, it looks like he's going to go with a Rek'Sai for some more early game pressure.
So Rek'Sai Orianna, the Orianna grab here by FeniX. This leaves what I still think might be a Lulu for the mid lane of Incarnation. We'll have to see what he actually wants to play here. Lulu was well respected by these teams earlier on in the series and yesterday by Cloud9.
Yeah, Team Liquid with some pretty significant tweaks to the champion select, just based off of how good Incarnation's Ori has been in both of Cloud9's wins this series. I think that's a pretty valuable takeaway.
I definitely agree.
In champ select.
Very interesting that Team Liquid was willing to play back into the Draven versus Vayne matchup, knowing it was going to be around. If they think the Braum was enough of a tweak to make that matchup okay, then I want to see it. It is worth keeping in mind there is actually not a lot of reliable CC now from Cloud9. Like in game one, they got a body slam flash gank and they just turned it into a kill and it was wonderful, right? Braum, Gragas, like that does good things to enemy AD carries. More diddly, much less reliable, and that snowball might be much harder to find. There's the big top lane tank. So the Sion comes through for Balls. Haven't seen that from him in a while, but Viktor is actually the mid lane grab. Incarnation still playing for damage.
Yeah, solo tank, big damage in the mid lane, and low on crowd control are the names of Cloud9's composition. At this point, I mean, Quas knows Malphite is fun into Sion, right? No, I'm kidding. I'm not sure what they're going to close out this team composition with.
Especially against Morgana. I would actually kind of like Sion for the team comp. Like this would otherwise, or Malphite for the team comp, this would actually fit. If it weren't for the Morgana Black Shield, you could actually, I think, evaporate the Draven and feel good about yourselves. We saw a second ago, Sion is 2-0 in the North American LCS this split. Those are both Quas' games. So the only non-Quas player to play Sion this split is now Balls.
Oh.
When you talk about players playing unique things.
Cloud9.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes they're so unique that they don't even play them in solo queue, like the Vel'Koz we saw yesterday in Game 5 from Nate.
No one knew where it came from?
Oh, that would be a lot of protection for Vayne. Ooh.
All right, so it's a very much battle between the Vayne and the Draven, but there is some damage to be had from the rest of the roles here. It's going to be fun to watch for, right? Nidalee can pitch in a little bit. Orianna, Lulu pitch in a little bit. Of course, Viktor's a big one, so we got to watch for how this game pans out. Game 1 was the sneaky show. He obliterated the game once he got a single gank and just snowballed from there. That's, I think, the champion you have to watch for here.
Yeah, I actually really like this Lulu pick from Team Liquid at the end. So much of Lulu lately has been very, very telegraphed for team compositions. You pick it first, you know exactly what the team is going for, and then you try and build a composition around it or against it. This time, because Lulu has been deprioritized this entire series, you kind of forgot about it. And it's actually one of Quas' best top lane champions. Plus, they now have multiple shields as well as a Braum to protect Piglet's Vayne, and not great tanks from Cloud9 to go through it. It's going to be
one that gets a bunch of health that gets shredded through by
all the shields on Vayne now. He might be able to actually go toe-to-toe with the Draven. This is a clever draft by Team Liquid.
All right, we got to see how it pans out then. A lot of weight on Piglet's shoulders for him to return to the World Championship. He won it in Season 3. Now he's trying to come back to it in Season 5 with his new team, Team Liquid. But you guys at home are, of course, always involved. Update your series predictions over on Twitter. Send hashtag C9 winner, hashtag TL win to @LOLesports. And here we go. This could be the deciding game. This could send Cloud9 to Worlds, and it could end Team Liquid's season short. They have to win here to stay alive. Here we go into Game 4.
Man, what a fairy tale this would be for Cloud9 if they were able to close out the series. Reverse sweep, reverse sweep. This team, Cloud9, was 6-12 during the regular season. Even once High came in as the jungle position, it took time to get any type of results. They closed the season 3-5 with High, winning a tiebreaker game. If we sum all of the games that High has played with Cloud9 as a jungler, they're still just 12-10. But when it matters, right down the stretch, they've been able to pull it out. I mean, the Cloud9 of old that we've talked about, High in the mid lane, Meteos in the jungle, the dominant Cloud9, they're gone. But this new Cloud9 might be going to Worlds.
And just an incredible story for them. We'll see if they can make this happen here. High on the Nidalee, leading the team. This time around as a true general from the back line. No longer playing a tank. Spots that will dominate. And actually a misplay. High could have killed that ward. Form swapping is an auto attack reset, so you attack from ranged form, switch to Cougar, auto attack again, then press Q. And you can one-shot even regular wards that stealth faster than trinkets.
Minions have spawned.
But he didn't do it.
Nope.
So
Misplay. High missed 10 gold.
And the enemy has vision.
Yep.
So early game, it's actually a called swap by both teams.
I feel like C9 would want this matchup. Team Liquid trying to save this information as late as possible. They will then sneak in and go for this. Sneaky actually going to be already up in the top side of the map. The Lemon Balls and co will already be up here. So Sneaky, expecting a lane swap, is actually going to be trying to freeze the lane. That will deny some of the farm that TL would be acquiring because they're stopping to get the Krugs first.
Yeah, we'll have to track the experience on first wave.
No, he didn't get it.
Okay, I was looking away for a second.
Yeah, no,
I saw your reaction
over the ward, but it was not in time.
Wow, flash down, though.
They don't know about this,
LemonNation.
though. They don't know it's punishable. So Lemon knows he's got no flash. He can play around it, but it's not known information. They just know Lemon was around and thought he shot a Q.
Did he get anything?
No, he didn't even tag the Braum.
All right, that wasn't actually that close. He tried for it, though.
That would have been so cool, and it really would have punished the lane.
Yeah, I mean, we know that... So Piglet in the past has said he's similar to Doublelift, and the analogy is playing against Piglet is like playing against a bomb. If he gets going, he completely crushes you, but he himself says he tilts. So knowing that they're the favorite in this matchup, knowing that they thought they could have clinched Worlds at Madison Square Garden, and then now being down to Cloud9, who really, people joked about them running the Gauntlet, winning all 3 series in a row and going to Worlds, but very few people expected except for Cloud9 themselves. If something were to go disastrously wrong for Team Liquid early on in this game, it could absolutely just be disastrous.
And that's always the risk to be had. We've seen teams lose big goal leads before, but Cloud9, one of the strongest shot-calling teams the Western LoL scene has ever seen. High's tutelage, very strong, and you can definitely carry leads through to victory. If there's one team to hold a lead, I feel like it would be C9. Dominate looking for an early gank to tilt the top lane matchup. Here he goes, looks for Sneaky, does not find the knockup without flash, and doesn't want to risk losing the summoner spell.
Yeah, and with these guys have played so many games of League of Legends at this point, and these are the high-pressure games that are very unique. So oftentimes it comes down to a team or a player's mentality, and so much of Cloud9's run through the regional qualifier here has been them playing the underdog. They were a low seed. Everyone did better in the regular season. Quas actually getting ganked.
Had to flash, but Rembo's still on, so Hai's going to get some damage out of this one. Trap actually still lands, and he does go for the pounce damage, so Quas going to be quite low.
Yeah, Hai takes a run of damage too and runs pretty low on mana for that gank, so
He can recall safely, though, I feel like.
a little bit of a split. He showed himself, but Dominate isn't in an immediate position to punish. But either way, as far as the change in mindset goes, Cloud9 for their entire time in the LCS, from the time they entered, was basically the favorite in everything. They were the kings of North America, 25-3, 24-4 in their next split. #1 seed.
Never lost a playoff game in the first 2 splits either.
Absolutely. But then they have a 6-12 season, and for the first time ever, they were an underdog. But now it might actually change back because they are up 2-1 going to Worlds, and even for this moment, they're now kind of the favorites because it's hard to win 2 games in a row against a team that is up on you in a series. And I wonder if them now having something to lose will impact their play because up until now, they've just been freewheeling. No one really expected a team that finished 7th to go to Worlds. Now they have that expectation that they can actually do it.
And this is going to be interesting then. You're right. C9 as a whole keeping their heads up even in the losses. And said, if we lose the season, that's okay. It's fine. We did our best. It's fine. If we didn't deserve it. Now you got to wonder, Incarnation, his first World Championship. Hai, his first as a jungler. Sneaky definitely back on form now late in the playoffs. Back on Draven here in a game decider. Still a pretty close one to be had. Both junglers farming equally. Dominate looking for the aggressive wards. Hai spots a pink. Clear. Finds Dominate, has to give it away as the knockup comes through, and down to half HP is Hai. But Incarnation's going to be there first. Dominate. Just going to do some poke and leave.
Xpecial faster on the roam. Well, really the only one there on the roam. LemonNation still laning up against Piglet in the top side. In Sneaky's back pocket for support.
13 CS lead, and Piglet's got to be careful. He is alone 1v2 against a Draven. He's getting zoned off of the CS. The Xpecial roam's going to punish Piglet, and he's going to miss the cannon.
Yeah, nice denial there by LemonNation. They saw the Xpecial roam. They also know he even jumped to Dominate to go on the complete other side of the map briefly. Piglet with his early Vamp Scepter wants to sustain up a little bit, but that would have not helped him much during the turret dive itself if it were to happen.
Ooh, Incarnation pulls 1 turret shot.
Minions gave out on him, as well as doing some damage.
First recall's very clean by C9. Because Xpecial roamed out as well, it meant that C9 was able to push the wave before they recalled. They will not miss as much as normal. And the first power spike of Draven comes in.
Yeah. FeniX is also defensive summoners on Orianna. The barrier, sometimes you will see the ignite for the aggressive lane, but not in this instance. Incarnation as well. Occasionally you would see a heal on the Viktor, but or cleanse for that matter. This time Ghost, just for more matching of the speed. He needs to be able to keep up with whoever Lulu is going for, but he will be vulnerable to either a Condemn stun, a Polymorph, or a Braum stun, so it's definitely a trade-off that Incarnation is going into right now. The Ghost is weaker in lane than a barrier or a heal would be.
But dodge away from Rek'Sai, because Rek'Sai really needs her body to kill anyone. Ghosting away can be a low cooldown usage of surviving ganks, just potentially without the flash knockup. So there's a whole bunch of always fun externalities to each one you pick. Quas has hit level 6. Ball's the same, but Quas will get a couple of deep wards in. There's the Trinket's going to spot the red buff as it comes back. We'll see if he goes for any more. Actually walks by a aggressive pink ward that I believe Balls have put down in that southern river.
Yeah. Oh.
Quas going to find it.
Yep. He does a nice defensive ward of his own and spots out the pink. What I should also mention here that there is much less kill pressure in the lanes this game than in the prior game. The Rumble-Gnar matchup is very gank swingy because Rumble wants to push up, is somewhat the better laner, but is very vulnerable to ganks. Sion and Lulu, those two were, first off, not really going to hurt each other, and second off, are going to be able to escape ganks unless you're sending the whole team.
Yeah.
Then the mid lane, both defensive non-combat summoners for the most part. Or not immediate combat summoners. So not kill pressure there. If anything, it's all going to be up top lane.
Though. Top
Walks
lane
through a
is
ward.
the focus, and they're going to look for Piglet. He's got to be careful of the binding.
Lemon
LemonNation,
takes a
2
lot of
turret
damage.
shots. thanks to his Tormented Soil pulling aggro on the turret. 11 minion difference, though, is definitely a very real, very tangible lead for Sneaky here.
Yeah.
Can you just stack up Adoration?
180 Adoration stacks.
Just hit 190 now.
Early juncture.
Yeah. Piglet again takes some damage. A nice bind on Xpecial, and it's a ton of money coming in for LemonNation. He's getting just plenty of cash off this. He's actually able to get Sightstone first as a partial result. But Sneaky's got to be careful. Silver Bolts get triggered, but no Braum stun.
Yeah, if we were comparing the gold income between the Spell Thieves versus the Relic Shield, LemonNation is about 100 more gold generation off of his item because he's been harassing so well with Tormented Soil.
Slow from Balls, goes for the ulti, a dash, a flash, a Quas just barely dodges the stun, but will he dodge the rest? Oh, the ulti by Quas is perfectly timed, but is it going to be enough? The knockup comes through. High flashes in, but now getting jumped upon. Balls had aggro, but Dominic gets the kill, and Dom has a red buff. Balls has flash.
Yeah.
Tunnels in 7 seconds, gets the knockup though.
Yeah, he waited for him to untunnel so that he couldn't chase him with a tunnel afterwards. Unburrow so he couldn't chase him with the tunnel afterwards. Right. Really aggressive there by Cloud9 to finish off. It just goes to show how hard it is to gank either one of those lanes. Quas was completely caught out in the far side of his lane and still barely died because of the dive. Because he prompted a dive, he was able to trade back a kill. Interestingly enough, the junglers both get it.
Yeah. Assists for the top laners, but one top laner managed to survive, though Balls immediately recalled regardless, so it's not like he's going to get a big XP advantage on the backside. Bit of a scuffle in the top side, didn't turn into much. You can see that as soon as Dark Binding comes out, Xpecial can no longer help and can no longer put the shield up to keep Vayne alive, so Piglet can't chase, and it's a weird scenario where as long as Lemon doesn't miss the bind, Sneaky really can't get punished. The flash combo comes in, and with the black shield, they can't stop it. As High is also joining. They're going to catch
they want the kill for Draven,
but they really want Piglet, and Piglet flashes away. There's a jump in. Sneaky's not in range, but High gets him, and the Vayne goes down. Assist for Draven.
Nice gank by Cloud9. Not a perfectly ideal result. You could tell they were really trying to stop Draven from getting a kill on top of just trying to stay alive, and they were minorly successful. Every summoner burned in that lane, so return ganks are going to be much more dangerous. I love the investment by Cloud9 to go all in on the Draven. Unfortunately, the kill goes to High, and Sneaky will have to continue stacking up his adoration.
High doing his Alistair impression, headbutts the wall, but those don't get knocked around nearly as much as champions. And top lane turret's going to be going down as well. Sneaky's got plenty of cash to use. He's 1,900 gold right now as his turret falls.
Yeah. I mean, on top of the attention that Cloud9 has been paying to that lane, it is a favorable matchup for Cloud9 on both accounts. Morgana is a favorable matchup against Braum, and Draven is favorable against Vayne. It's really not going to go in the way of Team Liquid. That's probably why they were up top to begin with, and they didn't feel the investment was worthy of swapping back.
You can't push the wave fast enough for it to ever give you a decent set of farm. It's kind of... Sion's going to outwave clear. He's got really cheap, spammable AoE abilities. Draven just has more damage per hit. Morgana, so you would give away like 20 CS over the early game just trying to find lanes if you're Team Liquid. Very heads up by CNN to have found lanes in the very beginning. It's a good guess by them. They were correct. Frozen Heart going to be next up for Balls after a Spectre's Cowl for the laning matchup, so already thinking of team fights.
Even without cashing in any stacks, as we just saw, Sneaky is 500 gold ahead of Piglet. It's very critical here because this is a team composition built around a Vayne carry. Lulu top, Orianna shield, and a Braum. The main damage source is Piglet's Vayne. If he gets shut down in lane, which has happened thus far, it's going to mean a much later activation time for the Team Liquid's composition.
Yeah. Sion holding equal in farm to Vayne is, I think, the big thing to watch for. Of course, Sneaky's going to be big and he's going to break through people, but Balls having the tank items to withstand the Vayne damage is something I think is very important here. Bit of a trade. Incarnation does some damage to FeniX. Another bind across the wall. He doesn't know who he hit. Actually, he does because there's a ward in there.
But Team Liquid doesn't know, he doesn't know, he doesn't know.
Yeah. Whatever.
Either way, they're going to back away because the bind hit.
I mean, you throw the bind because you see him come in usually, so yeah, I think they're aware of the ward more or less. High will give blue over to Incarnation, and so far this Nidalee's doing just fine. Has all the team's kills, so High has an extra emphasis here. He's going for a heavy AP, by the way. Looks like Luden's Echo second, possibly.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see an Abyssal Scepter with the new Runeglaive as a second item, especially against some pretty heavy AP, but maybe Zhonya's next for High.
Yeah, that could be the choice as well. He's got to run away from Dominate, though.
He's in a lot of trouble. He has no flash.
He's going to land the knockup. He's going to land another knockup from the Lulu, and High will not get away from this, but Balls shows up to buy some more time. Another Q comes out, but it's not enough damage. Incarnation shows up. The stun's going to get stopped by the Dominate knockup, and now Balls is overextended. No flash, no ult, no health bar. Big shockwave, but the Nidalee javelin, but they still trade one back. High goes down. Dominate has to choose. Does he fight? Does he run? He goes for the fight. He picks one up. He's now running away from Viktor. Balls says, I want it. Still goes to Incarnation. All said and done, it is a 2 kills for C9, 2 kills for Team Liquid.
A trade of double kills, and in these situations, you have to ask who got the better of it. Well, Rek'Sai gets 2 kills. He does not scale nearly as well as Incarnation's Viktor, who just got 2 as well, because Incarnation can now press a lane advantage against FeniX, and Dominate will have to do his best to turn an offensive moment out of that. He's going towards Black Cleaver off the back of that fight, but looking at this, it looked like Cloud9 was caught out of position because mostly they were. This was all a rescue opportunity for Cloud9. They kept trading who was in trouble throughout the fight, and it's a miracle they actually come out of this one even. Balls takes so many free hits with no one returning damage on his end, but then because the Deathwave props on Venus, as High gets the spear in and Balls can channel, it just trades off pretty well. Incarnation gets his ult right at the end of the fight. And I actually liked Balls. Probably could have activated his move speed to finish off IWillDominate, but he was saving that burst of speed on Sion to try and give the kill onto Incarnation, which was successful.
And that means the blue buff went back to Incarnation. He had killed off FeniX a bit ago, so it's still a blue buff on this Viktor. It means he's all kinds of scary. Luden's Echo done on him, so he's got crazy wave clear. Tier 1 augment also gone and picked up. Same as means as normal for the Orianna as well. High battling Dominate for the scuttle.
I mean, he
High
doesn't
gets
have...
it, but Dominate's chasing him out with the red buff. High's running very low on health. The flash! Oh, he's still gonna get stunned, and the red buff's not enough, but now Piglet's on the chase. There is a flash. Incarnation uses it, and Piglet cannot get into range any further. Somehow High lives.
Yeah, I mean, they have to remember Dominate did get the double kill, and even though the Viktor scales better, it's a phage on that Rek'Sai right now, so he can chase faster when High catches him. I really like that play by IWillDominate, playing aggressively, forcing multiple flashes away from Cloud9 and trying to get some of the pressure back in the game.
It's a very interesting adaptation. He's got 3 supports in this game, a Braum, an Orianna, and a Lulu. And so even though he's only one of 2 melee champions on the squad, Dominate building a bit more damage focus. It gives him an armor shred, of course, helps Vayne quite a bit, but he's got the shields to probably be an okay frontliner even without building full tank. So that's going to be fun to watch for him.
Black Cleaver works really, really well with Cinderhulk.
Yeah.
Just 2 kind of nice tank and damage items all wrapped into one, and because he gets 3 kills, it's a smart choice even regardless of the fact that he has support.
Yeah.
So it's going to be maybe an attempt at being a jungle threat when Rek'Sai is normally just a beefy tank.
It'll help match High's damage a little bit here. Of course, Sork Shoes and a Nuclear Large Rod make High incredibly damaging, to be fair.
The other thing we have to track, though, is the fact that Sneaky is still stacking up Adoration. There's already a 2,000 gold lead for Cloud9. 380 Adoration stacks on Sneaky, so if he gets a kill, it's 1,000 gold basically going over straight into his pocket and could create a somewhat insurmountable lead. So that's why there is attention being paid to this bottom lane. They would love to get something aggressive and successful here. The flash is up on Morgana again, but honestly, Team Liquid is pretty wary of Sneaky's Draven as of now.
As they should be. Golden Pocket Sneaky is 1,900, which means you can finish a Bloodthirster or 300 gold shy of an Infinity Edge. We'll see as High just goes to realize there's no fight to be had. Just goes for some poke damage. Doesn't steal the minions away. You notice that he still allows Sneaky to get all those last hits.
Yeah.
Zones them all back.
I mean, because of the lane advantage that Draven and Morgana have on these guys, Team Liquid's in a what feels like a bit of a catch-22, because yeah, they're worried about Sneaky cashing in his Adoration and getting a bunch of gold, but Sneaky's getting a bunch of gold either way. He's free farming for the last 18 minutes, and his CS is at 10 per minute, which is ideal for an AD carry.
That's wonderful stuff. He's basically the highest in the game, tied with FeniX, right behind Incarnation, right above, I should say. Top lane matchup still going equal. Balls and Quas can be basically ignored. They've both died once. They've been in a team fight. They've been in some ganks, but C9 with the map control. High stays to the bottom side. He goes for the dragon. Easy pick up here. Sneaky's going to get that. A quick smite and Q from High secures it. Dom and Balls still fighting. Looks like Balls did manage to take away the Gromp after all. Stomps Dominate, and Dominate forced to run.
Yeah, it's a 2-turn advantage for Cloud9. They've been rotating around Sneaky and LemonNation, and they have been so superior to the Vayne Braum duo lane champion matchup-wise, as well as Sneaky and Lemon just playing really well this series. That's the majority of Cloud9's advantage.
And it's good for them. Team Liquid at least make the smart choice of playing to the other side of the map. They saw high
at the
bottom.
Third turret?
Yes,
oh
they are.
Goodness.
It's a blue buff steal, but that gives away mid lane outer turret. High is helping the team push around. Deaths are not 2-2-1. He's been a part of a lot of the objective takes.
It's very rare that a team loses the first 3 turrets of the game and still manages to win. In standard lanes as well. This just means that Cloud9 has had a pressure advantage throughout the map. Also, one of the things you do if you've lost your outer turrets is you'll just try and force a team fight a dragon to then get the fight win and then take the turrets back because you don't have the safety to push out your lanes once your outers are dead.
Yeah.
But Cloud9 had actually taken the dragon right before taking the mid turret.
Right.
So it just means Team Liquid has to play incredibly scared until the next dragon is up.
Now, the only window that Team Liquid gets to have then is maybe recalling and getting the items in before C9 does that, hopefully matching up in inventory power and then somehow picking a fight. There's always a chance for that if you get a bit greedy on C9's side. As unlikely as that may be. Sneaky's already cashed in the Infinity Edge though, that's going to feel good. Another NLR on Incarnation means he's plenty powerful. Banshee's Frozen Heart done on balls. A lot of good things have come through right now for Cloud9.
Yeah, it's been mostly free farm for Sneaky this game, which is dangerous. It means he can freely juggle his axes every time he gets a last hit, every time he catches an axe. It means the next kill will be worth more gold.
Yeah, basically means roughly 4 bonus gold per CS if it all lines up well. Sometimes 6 if you catch 2 axes with it.
480 adoration stats. We're looking at a 4-digit cash-in if he's able to get a kill before he dies.
Seems quite likely now. 210 CS. Draven's feeling good. And oh, Piglet is revealed.
He should know the range of the scuttle right there, but at the same time, there's no way Cloud9 is.
No one's around. No one's even close.
It's a drive-by check. What's he gonna do? He's all alone.
Balls is all alone, and they're gonna stay on Baron Nashor. 3,000 health. This would be the most unlikely steal we have seen yet this year, and it's not gonna happen. Secure on the Baron, but Quas getting jumped on. Incarnation High in the mix. They've already picked up one, but they did trade for the Sion. More continues happening as High's in the back line. Piglet's trying to run, and he's gonna get away. The Q comes out. Incarnation gets hasted.
Fast.
There's the auto attack. There's the kill. 3 kills for 3, though, as LemonNation has also died. So all said and done, it's a fairly close trade. Bot lane tier 2 under fire. Dominant FeniX gets some help, but Draven is still knocking down a turret.
Yeah, the turret pressure might continue. He could have thought of continuing to press, but he knows the death timers are low this early into the game. All things considered, a really bold call by Team Liquid. Risky, but intelligent. Because they saw how happy Sneaky was to be free farming that wave. He wasn't pushing it quickly. He was maximizing how many axes he could catch. They also just had a whole bunch of people down there because they were planning on a group push, not really respecting the fact that there's a Vayne on the enemy team with the Blade of the Ruin King who can take the Baron down. Balls does his best to stay in there. You could see how early it is in the game and how hard it is for Team Liquid to take him down. He had a lot of free time in there where he was just getting beat on, and it took a very long time for Team Liquid to finish him off. Sneaky tried to throw that miracle axe from across the map. If that would have killed, it could have just been a disaster for Team Liquid. But they trade 3 kills from behind, get a Baron buff to really just keep themselves in this game for the time the next dragon comes and make sure they have a chance at the next team fight.
And so Team Liquid are now actually getting these turrets, and you mentioned 3 turrets to 0 is a very hard comeback, but with Baron Nashor on the jungler and the mid lane are 2 very key push champions. That actually might get reset before too terribly long. Top lane Adder's already dead. That's been picked up recently. Mid and bot still to stand. Sai plays the farm game farther. He does go Luden's Echo after all, so he's going to delay the Zonias. I do think he could really use it in this game, especially with how scary Vayne is, but right now it's a poke-focused build.
Yeah, there's one dude that they expect to go in and take all the damage, and then everyone else is just trying to kill the enemy as quickly as possible.
We're going to look at bot lane getting push. Xpecial eats the ulti. The Whirling Death does basically nothing. But 2 gun shy. Team Liquid will not go to actually knock the turret down themselves. They'll back out. Sneaky going for the same build of BF Vamp Scepter into Infinity Edge into Bloodthirster. Seems to be the prioritization for him.
Yep. And earlier Zeke's Harbinger this time from Lemon though.
Yeah.
Braum did face the mountain first. Morgana does not have such needs, so that's going to be a really big power spike.
Unfortunately though, if they're too afraid of Draven in the bot lane, and who wouldn't be, They can't push mid either because Incarnation wave clears well. Even if the melees don't get one shot, there's just not really enough follow through.
Yeah, I mean, this has also been 24 minutes of Draven catching axes all by himself. So
540.
if he dies, it's going to be a huge blow for Cloud9, and if he gets a kill, it'll be a huge boon. There's a lot of complexities in the game right now, but the most important thing is whether Sneaky gets a kill before he dies.
Yep.
Because whenever that happens, it will be a monstrous swing.
Yeah, the easy way to do that basically is whatever adoration stacks he has, that's the gold he loses by dying.
Yeah.
Max reach worth 2, you lose half. It's a very easy math to do. So the death is a 540 gold deny right now. And it's a roughly like 1,400 gold cash in. Sneaky just gets an item. He gets a Zeal by killing someone.
Pretty nice.
Dragon's back up. Baron has timed out, so Team Liquid do not have that to fight for anymore. Black Cleaver's done. Oh dear, that's a lot of damage on FeniX, and here goes I! Oh, he takes him down, and in just the right time. Quas TP's in, but I'm not sure if he's gonna get much for it. Might have been a bit of a waste, as the rest of the team must recall back, and Cloud9 owns this Dragon.
There's the burst damage. That's the double Ludens right there for Cloud9. They secure themselves a Dragon. Team Liquid would have wanted to secure that one. Goes to Cloud9.
All right, looking like the makings of the game for win. Woo. They are getting farther and farther ahead. The Baron did not stop them. Quas taking plenty of pain as well. And C9 looking for their next objective. FeniX still dead for 10 seconds.
It's really unfortunate kill distribution for Team Liquid. You want to do the Jugger Vayne, but it's like a Jugger Rek'Sai right now. Doesn't have the same impact. It's dominate into it. It's going to be that monster, but honestly, with all the damage dealers that Cloud9 have, I feel like they can burst through anyone, honestly. Viktor and Draven, just so much backline damage unless they have shutdown or a shockwave that hits them.
There is one style change. Dominate is getting a lot of the farm now. He's actually 118 CS. He's actually the richest member on his team, roughly tied with FeniX here. And again, with that Black Cleaver picked up, he's getting the Randuin Zoman, and he's, again, a ball delivery system. He's a Pix delivery system. There is some real threat of Rek'Sai actually breaking through onto the Draven at a certain point in this game. So you do have a scary jungler to keep in mind on both sides here.
It's going to need to happen. Team Liquid needs to win 2 games in a row if they want to have their first trip as an organization to the World Championship. Cloud9, of course, was so close to elimination so many times. They had 8 games that would have knocked them out of world contention in the last month, and they have won all 8 of those games. So always being able to step up to the pressure. And a great team in clutch. Well, this is a clutch moment right now. 1 game away.
They're finally actually having a good showing as well. They're not making the matches scary for their fans. They can just sit back in their Cloud9 jerseys and with their wristbands on and say, all right, yeah, we're beating Team Liquid. That feels good. But it's only a 3,000 gold game. I mean, if Cloud9 are just giving every team the hope, leading them up 2-0, then crushing it, maybe next up C9 crushes their own team, their own fans' hope, and goes up in the series and then drops it. You want to build the story even further. You get them really close to Worlds. That's how the script ends.
What's Sneaky at right now?
Like 630? 600 roughly
600 iteration stacks. So that's 1,200 gold plus 50 plus the 300 from a likely kill. 1,550 gold if he gets a kill. We're hammering on this point a lot, but it's really important.
It's really game-changing. The entire gold lead is that much money.
It's almost as if Sneaky gets a kill, Cloud9 goes to Worlds. It's not quite that extreme.
Oh, they tried to make the...
Dude! Is he gonna flash?
I mean, there's a shield in the way. It's not gonna hit him.
I've seen Sneaky flash very aggressively on Draven to get the cash in.
He would have died. For certain. For certain, that would have been his death.
If Braum wasn't there, he would have flashed, but he has the patience.
Top lane 2-2 under fire. More poke coming through from this Nidalee on the side. There's the ulti coming across, doing plenty of damage. And it's going to force Team Liquid away. Another turret comes through. Team Liquid got the outers, but Cloud9 have knocked down another tier 2. They're on the hunt for top lane here. And with the damage dealt, they're content to keep pushing forward.
Such an aggressive move right here. There is flank position for the Rek'Sai. Piglet is low, though. This will be a fight.
Across. Good flash by Sneaky, but he's now going to get knocked up. There's the shockwave, and down goes Sneaky. Piglet safe in the back line. Dominate gets out. Balls in the front. His ulti's gone, though, and that's the 1-for-0 that Team Liquid sorely needed.
Draven denied, but what will it cost?
It might cost a lot. FeniX is running, has to flash from the bind. The inhibitor turret's dead. Incarnation was killed as part of all that. It's a 2-for-1 for C9. against C9, but they got a turret.
Yeah, nice kill there by FeniX as Incarnation was trying to do the last bit of damage towards the turret kill. An incredibly tense series of events, but honestly, Team Liquid wins that big time by the Draven denial. Yeah, they lost their turret, but they're still in team fight mode.
They're still trying.
And why not? They killed Incarnation. They know Sneaky is in base. This is a bold call, but it just might work.
There's no damage dealers around. High is running back from the base. Ball's in the front line, but Vayne can do plenty of damage there. Thornmail or not, it's still a lot. There's the knockup. That's the kill secure. Now run, because there's an undead zombie coming after you. Slowed down by Xpecial, and all is going to be well. Another kill picked up by Team Liquid, and they did keep the inhibitor alive.
Yeah, it pretty much, the force was pretty much just to get a kill. Cloud9 had the ability to stop it because it takes so long to kill balls, and they just needed to buy some time for Sneaky and High to get there.
Yeah.
But a nice call there by Team Liquid to go for Baron after the team fight. And they're moving into team fight mode. I mean, we saw right there, Dominate with the confidence, we'll see in this fight, Dominate with the confidence to get in right onto Sneaky, and then the Shockwave. This is the combo they're going to have to pull out since Piglet is far behind. They're not putting everything on a Piglet. They have to channel Dominate. He's the one who got the protection this time, and it ends up being just enough. They're very low at the end of this one, but watch, I want to see how FeniX actually takes out Incarnation. He tanks the turret for a little bit too long, and Cloud9 did not focus the turret in time. Sneaky little QW from FeniX's Orianna with the death cap, that chunks.
That's a whole lot of damage. That's why I like the build. He's going Luden's Echo next, so no Void Staff from the Morgana, just more flat AP. The shields will, of course, help. It'll keep Dominate in a good spot. But anyone without Magicus will take a lot of damage. Sneaky, another Hex Drinker. He knows his big threats are actually the Shockwave damage. It's an interesting choice. He had lost his flash getting away from a Braum ulti that LemonNation did not black shield for him. Lemon actually black shielded himself, which allowed the knockup chain, led by physical damage Rek'Sai.
And it's really important to note that Dominate is doing a selfish build this game because he has to. He knows... Oh, there might be a fight here. If he built the Locker of the Iron Solari, he'd get killed by Draven, so that's why he's gone randoms.
And he's the one guy who can actually get in there, has the tools to reach the AD carry, be the delivery system. So I agree, completely the smart choice for IWillDominate. C9 once again trying to start up the Baron.
High pretty low on mana for this, actually, so it's more of a forcing Team Liquid to come in. Doing Baron against the Shockwave is really risky.
And they back right out. Not a lot of damage really dealt here. High is He should not be part of these fights anymore. He can't heal the poke, and he will indeed back out. Hex Drinker also for Piglet. I don't know what happened, but everyone decided Hex Drinker was the best item in the game in the months of August.
Yeah, Hex Drinker is the best right now. Just get used to it. It's honestly just a mix of offense and defense, and in these games, maybe some confirmation bias coming in.
People used to do QSS for it. That was like the third item you'd often buy in AD carry, and they said, you know what? Let's do Hex Drinker instead.
Who needs to QSS? There's only Morgana in the game.
Yeah.
Don't get hit by the binding. Simple.
Xpecial walks into the Javelin to make sure FeniX is safe. Gives him a Luden's Echo proc instead. Actually might have hurt his team. Ball slams the ground in frustration as the mid laner took all the farm.
They're continuing to pressure this Baron, though. High has mana this time, and they're trying to catch Team Liquid in recall and wave clears. They have some nice wave pushes up in the top lane. This is actually going to come down to a steal. It's really low.
The smite fight, and they don't go for it. C9 are too sure of winning the game outright in the normal way to look for that attempt, but they're going to go back through. Oh, blue team gets it. That's Cloud9, but Sneaky's hit by the Shockwave. Dominate with another knockup, but he's not down. Sneaky's life-stealing and hitting this front line. He's trying to kill Dom. High survives for now. Incarnation kills Xpecial. Dominate killed off by High. It's a 2 for 0, but none of them are Sneaky just yet.
Dom was so tanky. He took so many shots after that one. And what a crazy set of events that just happened. Cloud9, instead of rushing immediately, they then burst the Baron as the fight is starting, which is almost always a recipe for a lost team fight, but they win the team fight on top of it. So, Baron at 2,000 health. They jump in for the burst. High jumps with the Viktor laser, meaning spell cooldowns are down for Cloud9 at the start of this fight, but Shockwave only hits one.
It's really late.
Balls is a huge tank line that stopped the follow from most of Team Liquid. Piglet was a little bit scared to do damage there because of the Viktor respect. We saw how well Viktor can play against Vayne in a lot of these mid-game fights before he has the adequate protection. And Cloud9 wins a thriller fight. Incarnation is getting a lot of these kills and is really powerful right now. I wonder if he goes Lichbane for his last item.
Oh, geez, he's just really trying to destroy people with the damage out, but it's definitely a possibility here. Deathcap, Void Staff, Ludens, in a 2-2 augment for Incarnation is plenty of punishment to have. Cloud9 did get the Baron. They're up 4,000 gold as a result of all of their effort and all their trying. 3 turrets and 2 kills with them ahead as well. 3 dragons to 0. A lot of ways for C9 to win this game.
Yeah, well, with the Baron, though, they'll try and push. The wave clear is not that great for Team Liquid. They do not have the Viktor this time, or the Corki to clear it away. So this means the time that Cloud9 gets on turrets is pretty high.
The poke they're getting is really nice. Balls in the turret, but not stunned thanks to Black Shield. LemonNation saves Balls' life, but it still means the damage dealt allows him to keep pushing.
Yeah.
100 health from the Sion, he's going to be okay.
High has been landing a lot of spears on a Piglet, which is really critical for these fights. He landed 2 before that turret push, which is what prompted Piglet to go back to base and gave Cloud9 some time on the turrets. But honestly, Balls went a little too deep right there onto the turret. That's a lot of damage. Incarnation is still able to do with those 6 kills, though.
And of course, IWillDominate itemizing for the Draven. Itemizing get into the back line takes plenty from this Viktor. Here comes the next push. Quas at half. Teleport comes in. Balls in the front line. And this will be the attempt of a turret kill. No one's got aggro. There's the inhib turret down. The second inhib turret they've killed so far this game. Shockwave air balls. That's not a good thing. And Balls goes right back in. Bind hits FeniX. But Piglet's on the back line dealing damage. And he's trying to find the target that he wants. Big Naka comes through. And FeniX on a killing spree. They trade 1 for 1. Sneaky's the target. And Piglet takes him down. Now it's time for the chase. They slow down Balls. He's going to drop to the Vayne Silver Bolts. A double kill for Piglet. Now can he kite the Sion? That's probably going to be a yes. But Xpecial's 1 hit away from dead. He had to run for some shields. 3 for 1. Inhibitor itself still stands.
Team Liquid completely on the back foot right now, but they are fighting valiantly after that. I mean, still denying Sneaky those kills. His Adoration are not really going to stack in for the meaningful amount. He's down to 190 stacks right now, so it's not nearly the threat. And the point of a Draven snowballing the game is now pretty much null and void. So, great job by FeniX there, as well as Piglet, to really keep them alive. And the way Team Liquid is throwing around the shields is making it very difficult for Cloud9 to hand off any type of kills. And there's so many squishy targets that if they're not bursting down someone on Team Liquid, it's huge. So with the missed Shockwave, it looks like a disaster. And when the bind lands. But you have to see Dominate on the other side. He is the one keeping Cloud9 honest. And that one Braum tag right here allows Piglet to stun Sneaky. Otherwise, Sneaky would have turned and burned for potentially a crit that could have even ended the game. Remember, this was a Baron buff Cloud9 pushing into the base with an inhibitor down. Cloud9 wins that fight. The series is over.
The series would be over. And the season.
4,000 gold.
What a tense game. I could not ask for a better deciding match here. Team Liquid must win to stay alive. Cloud9 have actually taken down 2 of those turrets inside the base. They are 1 inhibitor, 2 turrets, and 1 nexus away from ending the game and going back to the World Championship. Team Liquid refused to say die. Piglet got the Vayne first round pick, 3, 2, and 4 on him. IWillDominate got 5 of his team's first 6 kills. He is very large on this Rek'Sai. Looking as big as he possibly can.
And now with the Spectre's Cowl, he's also difficult for Incarnation to kill even if they just try and focus tanks. That one tank with so many shields is tough to get down.
Xpecial gets done. This could be the kill that the Draven wants, getting a lot of damage through. Incarnation takes it. Shockwave catches 2, but it doesn't kill off. There's the cash-in. Sneaky gets a few hundred bonus gold. It's a 2 for 0 for Cloud9.
Xpecial got caught. He cannot be in that position at this valuable of a juncture. Rek'Sai needs to be the one to stay in there. Xpecial is needed to protect the back line, but the front line is dead right now, meaning this inhibitor is free pickings for Cloud9. Incarnation did go back to base, however, so we'll see what Piglet can do.
But he's home guarding back around, and I don't think you defend a 3v4 like this without a turret. That's an easy pickup, and it means top lane is theirs as well. Cloud9 now own the map for the next 5 minutes here, if they're willing to stick it around. Braum's up in 8 seconds. Viktor's back in from the mid lane. Shockwave is down, and Piglet has to condemn back high. Gets a Whimsy, gets the run. Will survive, but the inhibitor is going to go down, and C9 gets to walk back.
Double inhibitor, 3 dragons, 6,000 gold, and 1 Nexus left to be taken for Cloud9 to make it to Worlds. It's really almost unbelievable.
Yeah.
The story that Cloud9 has crafted this split. 6 and 12 during the regular season. Meteos, their longtime jungler, often considered the best jungler in the LCS, steps down, and then High moves into a position he's never played competitively before. He had played competitively before.
Not professionally.
Yes, not fully professionally. He did try to qualify for the LCS as a jungler way back at the start of Season 3. But it's not like he's a jungler. And then him and Incarnation worked together. Incarnation really didn't show any success until High became the jungler for this team.
And that man stepped up tremendously.
Charlie is no longer the coach calling picks and bans. Bubba Dub has come in. Just so many changes for Cloud9 mid-run. And if they can actually run all the way through this regional qualifier, defeating Gravity, Team Impulse, and Team Liquid to make Worlds, it will be so well-deserved. And this is a really important catch with 2 inhibitors down if they take down Dominate.
And he's down to 1,000 health. Chaos Storm in. Incarnation gets the kill. 9, 1, and 4 on the mid laner. He is massive and very scary. Dragon and Baron are both primed for the taking. I can't see Team Liquid stopping a Baron attempt here.
Yeah, jungler down. Almost no way. He's the whole way that Team Liquid has been channeling their shield since Piglet has been held mostly down through the laning phase. Baron. And the Dragon is up. Team Liquid's going to try and rush this down, but Cloud9...
They're on the way over. Incarnation's already ghosted over,
yeah,
in fact.
Piglet's
He's trying to get there right away.
He's even more move speed from the Q.
Ulti pop, they're going to stay for it. Dragon gets picked up just in time, but here comes Sion. Piglet flashes, all is well. With a slow land, they revealed him. High's going to land this Javelin. He does. Is he in the rain for the hunt? Yes, he is. There's the shutdown. 2 members dead. Here comes the push. 1 inhibitor stands left, and Cloud9 aim to take it down. The World Championship, the trip over to Paris, and Cloud9 want to be that last team from North America. They're poised to do so. Taking
down Piglet as he was trying to greed for that Dragon. To stop the 5-Dragon Snowball means the 3rd inhibitor. 4 members of Team Liquid up, but the minions are pushed out, so I almost feel like Cloud9 will back away, reset, and then go for the win.
30 seconds on Piglet, though. It's tempting to want to go back in before he's alive.
They're going back for the minion wave. They have a wave of supers and a Baron buff right here with no AD carry to clear. This might be the push to send Cloud9 to the World Championship.
15 seconds, here comes Sion! Into the backline he goes, doesn't find a champion, but the turrets are in front already. Dominate takes a bind, Dominate takes a Javelin, turret 1 is gone, turret 2 under fire, Piglet's up in 4, there's the knockups, but there's the cash-in!
This is gonna be it!
Sneaky takes him out, Quas is dead, onto the Nexus they go, a double for Sneaky, Piglet's back up, but Piglet's slowed down, Shockwave buys some time, FeniX is 1 hit away, but cannot kill him off, Incarnation zones him out, that's gonna be the Nexus, that's gonna be the game, that's gonna be a trip to the World Championship for Cloud9!
And LemonNation almost can't believe it. From 7th place in the regular season to Worlds, Cloud9 makes the run all the way through the regional qualifier, and their last series is their best one. 3-1, they're in Worlds.
And Team Liquid can't believe it. You can see the stunned face of IWillDominate, the realization that these guys were so damn close.
I mean, Team Liquid just can't believe it happened again.
Yep.
It's such a tragic story at this point for IWillDominate, Quas, and Xpecial specifically, the ones who had this happen last year.
Well, you know what? It's another year's end, and it's another 4th finish for Team Liquid. CLG in first, TSM in second, Cloud9 in 3rd, and Curse on the outside looking in. 2 games away.
Yeah, and Cloud9 now one of the few teams to go to their 3rd consecutive World Championship. Very few organizations can say they've been to 3 in a row. TSM has been to all of them.
FeniX's been to 3 in a row now as well, 3, 4, and 5.
But it's a very, very small list. So incredibly impressive stuff for Cloud9 to persevere through the struggles of this season. It's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you can get back up. And Cloud9 climb all the way to Worlds.
And it wasn't in their sights. You talked to them in the middle of the split, and they're like, yeah, we're just trying to get the team together. We're just trying to regroup and rebuild and figure out what we can do. And I remember talking to High after one of the games that they actually finally won, was like, all right, High, you know, you had to retire due to injury. What are you going to do with the team? And he's like, well, I'm just going to play the rest of the split. If that's relegations, relegations. If that's Worlds for some unknown reason, I guess it's Worlds, and I'll be there. And it is going to be Worlds.
And no one cares about Worlds as much as Piglet and FeniX. They are absolutely crushed after that. The joy of victory and the agony of defeat are on full display right now. What a crazy series.
What an absolutely crazy series. And the entire weekend, too, the fact that it was back-to-back-to-back games, back-to-back-to-back days.
Yeah, Cloud9 played 14 games in 3 days. Even just from a fatigue perspective, they were 5 to 6 hours on stage 2 days in a row before this, and they still pull through.
9-5, their record throughout the regional qualifier, 3-2, 3-2, 3-1. They are on form. They are the team that deserves to go. They are heading to Worlds as maybe, unfortunate for them, a bottom seed. They're in Pool 3. It'll be definitely tough competition.
It's going to be an uphill battle, but they've played the uphill battle for a while now.
They have.
They're willing